Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. I hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new video right here on Ethereum. We're going to do a full update on Ethereum for today. We'll talk about some fundamentals as well that I found quite interesting this morning, which can also have an impact on Ethereum. So we'll start off with that. I mean, obviously this week we still have the US government shutdown, which at this point of time, I don't expect any bearish pressure from that. But it can cause volatility, right? Because last week we missed quite a lot of economic data. If the US government shutdown is averted, right? So if the US government reopens and we get all of that data at once, and that's going to cause a lot of volatility. I spoke about that yesterday briefly in my middle of the day market update as well, but that is something to be aware of. And in general, I mean, headlines around the US government shutdown, I think matter as well. But I mean, I understand if you don't want to keep up with all the headlines. While I got very blurry right here. There, I'm back again. I understand that you don't want to keep up, so I'll keep an eye on that, and I'll let you know when anything interesting happens. So fundamentally, I think that's something that's important. Now, something else that I briefly wanted to point out right here is that, first of all, Ethereum is relatively strong right now, which is a good thing. As you can see, we have actually been able to make higher lows since Saturday. We did that with lower volume, and we did that with a lower RSI, and we did get some open interest, some leverage in the price. But if I take a look at Ethereum right here on the 12-hour time frame, I'm definitely not bearish. This looks quite constructive. This looks quite good, right? And I already said yesterday, you know, that I did expect a pullback. And I still think that's quite likely, but where first I thought we were going to pull back all the way into 4,250, I still think that's a possibility because of the fundamentals, because of the potential news that we can get. But outside technically, I would say it's unlikely that we're going to drop down that low. I would say it's more likely that we will, when I reset my camera again, that we will find support more, you know, higher at 4,350 or maybe even 4,400. Where at this point of time we have a mix of the 4-hour uptrend and a fair value gap. So that's also not nothing, and definitely in bullish market circumstances, a level like that sometimes is sufficient. And this morning, something we know about Ethereum is that it's often very strong during the Asian session, and that Asian fundamentals actually do matter a lot for Ethereum. And this morning we actually saw that there was a lot of optimism in Japan after the elections. The Nikkei is rallying right now. It's about, when you compare to the price of Friday afternoon, it's up about 7%, which is pretty ridiculous. And Chinese stocks have also been doing fine. As you can see, they've rallied a lot since August. So fundamentally, I'd say that's another reason to be slightly bullish here on Ethereum. The only thing that I do want to point out is that there's no outperformance, right? If you go back to April, every time that Ethereum really was very strong, was really bullish, ETH BTC was bullish as well. And it's not, all right? So that's the key reason why I'm not going to tell you that I expect Ethereum to get a massive rally right here. I am bullish on Ethereum. I think we're going to rally into 4,700s and 4,800s quite easily. But I still think it's more likely short term that we're going to get a bit of a pullback. You know, take it slow and move up together with Bitcoin when Bitcoin moves. I'd say that's still most likely. Specifically, take a look at Ethereum while we realize and while we know that the fundamentals around Ethereum are getting better, right? So the probability that ETH starts to outperform Bitcoin also becomes higher, and when it does, I will call for 5,200, 5,500 very quickly, right? So I still have that level in mind. I just think the only way we can actually reach that is if we have outperformance, and at this point of time we don't. All right, so that's in short what I think about Ethereum right now. That's what I think you need to know. So thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you all in my next videos, and bye.